The Minnesota Timberwolves start and end with Anthony Edwards, but what if I told you Jaden McDaniels could be the biggest X factor on this team next year? If he takes a step forward in terms of consistency and night-to-night production, we could really be talking about this Minnesota Timberwolves team winning the NBA championship. And when you look at McDaniels' game, the flashes are definitely there. I mean, in the half court, being able to create for himself off pick and rolls, off everything under the sun, he's done it a little bit, but being the third, maybe fourth option, depending on who's on the court for Minnesota, he doesn't get to express it all the time. Versus Portland this year, when he dropped 30 and 10 on 12 of 17 shooting, I think is a really good example of him being able to operate off the bounce. This is against Toumani Camara right here, all-NBA defender. Then right here, once again, against Camara, he's going to come off the Gobert screen, read DeAndre Ayton, and pull up for a nice little mid-range jumper. Even though the mid-range jumper looks really awkward and he looks leaned back, it still goes, and when he gets knocking down those mid-range jumpers, then he's very hard to stop. He's elite in transition as well. At 6'10", runs like a deer and jumps like a kangaroo, he is extremely hard to be able to check on the fast break. Another example of his potential to be very good, but his inconsistency, is this Lakers series, where he had multiple very good games, including Game 3, which is being shown right here, where he and Ant took over. In Game 3 versus the Lakers, he had 30 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. He and Ant combined for 63 points to help carry the Wolves through this game, take a decisive 2-1 lead. But as you can see, he had 2 games with 25 or more points, and the other 3 games only combined to score 32 points. The biggest stat to walk away with from this video is that the Wolves were 6-0 this year, including the playoffs, when he scored 25 or more points. And if they can get him to be more consistent and go up to like 12 or 13 25 point per game nights, then that's looking at an extra 4, 5, maybe even 6, 7 wins. Look at him right here defensively, which is still his best attribute. He is an absolute clamp warrior. He walks onto the court with his 6'10" frame with a 7-foot wingspan, and you automatically know who's going to be guarding the opponent's best perimeter guard or wing, whichever one, because he's 6'10". He's positionless. He's guarding De'Aaron Fox right here, and then contesting Derek Lively at the rim on back-to-back clips, Malik Beasley running him off the line, and then getting back-to-back steals. People forget he's also 24. Going into year 6 at just 24, the Wolves were able to find him with the 28th overall pick, and I think he is their X factor next year. Now, they also just brought in Johnny Juzang. Looking at the rest of the moves they've made this offseason, another 6'6" wing that can really shoot the ball. He's going to be another nice addition to have around guys like Anthony Edwards. Juzang last year averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 0.6 steals in 20 minutes a night on 43% shooting from the field and 38% from 3 on about 5 attempts. But back in 2023-24, he shot 46% from the field, and 42% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. He'll be just 23 years old next season, has a few years of NBA experience, and can come in and legitimately help this Wolves team out. Then you have Rudy Gobert. The drafting of Yohan Berenjay means nothing for Gobert this year. The 4-time Defensive Player of the Year will only be 33 years old, still at the tail end of his prime, and will still be just fine. Now, yes, they could be using Berenjay more often, especially bringing him on as the year progresses, but this 3-year, $111 million contract that Gobert is on pretty much ensures that he is going to still have a huge role in next year's squad. Averaged 12 points, 12 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 1.8 blocks per game in 33 minutes this year. Shot 67% from the field and 67% from the free throw line as well, even getting out in passing lanes and showcasing that athleticism he's got. Him and Mike Conley are the 2 unks on this squad, and both who are considered maybe trade pieces heading into the offseason, but both are back for another year. Now, the guy that did leave was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and replacing him will not be easy. He goes over to the Hawks on a 4-year, $62 million contract, but if we're being serious, I mean, he averaged 9.5 points, 3.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists in 25 minutes a game last year, shooting 44% from the field and 38% from 3 on 4.5 attempts. That is replaceable. It's not like he was out there averaging 20 a night off the bench and being a lockdown defender. What got him really paid was the Western Conference Finals, where he averaged 12 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 2.6 assists on 41% shooting from beyond the arc. And even though it's made vast improvements, the wing with a 6'5" frame and a 6'9" wingspan his three-point shot is still a little bit suspect. You can replace Nickeil Alexander-Walker with both Jalen Clark and Terrence Shannon Jr. and be able to immediately rock and roll next year with the same group of guys, essentially because of what Terrence Shannon Jr. was able to show you this year in the playoffs. In Game 3 versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, the eventual NBA champs, he went out and dropped 15 points, 2 rebounds, a steal in 12 minutes that game. 15 points in 12 minutes in the Western Conference Finals. Dude, what are we talking about here? In games 3, 4, and 5, all the games that Terrence Shannon Jr. played in, he averaged 12 points a game in just 12 minutes. Also had 1.7 rebounds a game. Shot 53% from the field and 38% from 3 on 2.8 attempts per night. He did not play games 1 and 2, but through games 3 through 5, the Timberwolves actually outscored the Thunder, and that was in large part due to Terrence Shannon Jr.'s contributions and him being a microwave scorer off this bench. He played 32 games last year, averaging 4.3 points, 1.5 rebounds in 10.6 minutes a night, shot 48% from the field and 36% from 3 on 1 attempt. However, I think he's going to be able to come in and not dominate, but he is going to make a statement next year. Whatever his points per game line is for the season, go ahead and take the over, because TSJ is a dog. Just because Chris Finch doesn't like to play the rookies and the second year guys like Jalen Clark, don't read too much into that. They're going to be big time pieces of this rotation. Finch has already confirmed that. As for Rob Dillingham, the 6'3", 176-pound guard, that's what he's listed as. Looks more like 6'1 or 6'2 to me, but they gave up 2 first-round picks for him. Well, technically 2. They gave up an unprotected first and then a pick swap. He averaged 4.5 points a game, 2 assists, and a rebound, 44% shooting from the field, 34% from 3 last year during the 49 games that he was inserted into the lineup for. Chris Finch, of course, very stingy with playing those rookies, so Rob Dillingham didn't see the most time, but he is an electric scorer and should be able to provide them with a spark next year off the bench behind Mike Conley. Then you have Jalen Clark, the 6'4" wing with a 6'9" wingspan that is going to be coming in and helping replace the loss of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He weighs 5 more pounds than Nickeil Alexander-Walker despite being an inch shorter, and last year in 40 games was a big time help. He helped the most out of these 3 young guys, averaging 4.1 points, 1.7 rebounds, and a steal in 13 minutes. 3 steals per 36 minutes is wild. 47% shooting from the field, 43% from 3 on 1.3 attempts a night. This gives the Wolves a really solid core of guys that are 26 and under, Naz Reid being the oldest at 26, and you've got Terrence Shannon Jr. at 25, funnily enough, and Ant at 24. You also have Yohan Berger in there, but as for Naz Reid, they essentially chose to keep him instead of choosing Nickeil Alexander-Walker because you couldn't pay both of them. You re-signed Julius Randle as well as Naz Reid, so investing a lot of money into that front court, 5-year, $125 million deal, and honestly, I feel like in a couple of years, that contract is going to be looking like a steal. I know it increases a little bit annually, but man, Naz Reid's coming off a year averaging 14.2 points, 6 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and a block in just 27 minutes a game off the bench, 47% shooting from the field, 38% from 3 on 6.2 attempts a game. Did have a bit of a stinker in the playoffs after performing very well all year long against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we could see some lineups looking like this season, which will be very interesting to see, especially with what Naz Reid brings to the table offensively. But I think that with Randle and Gobert out there, you get a nice mix of the offense and the defense because Randle can take you anywhere on the court, essentially. Didn't get to talk about Dante DiVincenzo much today or Anthony Edwards. Both of these guys, obviously, Ant is going to have a massive role. Dante is going to be a big-time role off the bench. Glad they were able to keep him. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.